So you made a mistake. You're losing sleep over it. You're kicking yourself in the butt like, how could you do that? Today, we're going to be talking about how to bounce back from mistakes. Welcome to the Biz Success in 15. I'm your host, Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and I'm here to guide you to step into who you are with outrageous confidence for more visibility, influence, and profits. Get your visibility checklist at visibilitychecklist.com. So today we're going to talk about how to bounce back from mistakes. So, first of all, know what your personal definition of a mistake is. It is different for different people. As far as the dictionary is concerned, a mistake is an action or a judgment that is misguided or wrong. Know that a mistake does not mean that you'll never make it, or that you should give up, or that you wasted your time, that you're in any way inferior to anybody else, or you don't have what it takes, or that you're a failure. Okay, so you've made a mistake. So now what? Know that mistakes are a part of being human. No mistake is fatal. Rather, it's a mistake that you made or a mistake that somebody else made. And it's not over unless you decide to stop trying. Years ago, I was invited to be a guest expert on Huffington Post Live. I was there with some other guest experts. It was when I was a divorce coach, and I was so nervous. And I think that I was having a hard time articulating what I wanted to say. It was the first time that I'd ever been on video. And Huffington Post, whenever they was marketing that episode, they said, certified divorce coach Cindy Holbrook tells all of her clients to find a friend with benefits. I was mortified. What I thought I had said was, I tell all of my clients that I believe it's better to find a friend with benefits than to have multiple one-night stands. There's a huge difference in those two statements. And at first, I thought that it was the end of my business, but it wasn't. It actually increased my coaching. So remember, no mistake is fatal. It's not over unless you decide to stop trying. So please don't decide to stop trying. Number 4, and bouncing back from a mistake, know what meaning you're putting on that mistake and keep it in perspective. Is it really as big of a deal as you're making it out to be? And what are the actual facts of the mistake that you made? A lot of times, we make mistakes and we blow them out of proportion. Uh, One time I yelled at my mother and I felt so guilty. And I consistently called her 3, 4, 5 times a day. Mom, I am so sorry. And finally, my mom said, Cindy, I forgave you the first time you asked me, when are you going to forgive yourself? And that's what we do. We kick ourselves in the butt when we make mistakes, or we do something that we're not proud of. So keep it into perspective. One of the ways to keep it into perspective is to ask yourself, if somebody else did it, somebody you love, your significant other, your child, your best friend, how fast would you forgive them? Would it be that big of a thing if they did it? Number 5, feel your feelings. Forgive yourself and let go. As I just said, I was not forgiving myself. And my mom told me, hey, forgive yourself. And we have to forgive ourselves for our mistakes, especially when our mistakes hurt other people. But a mistake does not mean that you're a bad person. We all make mistakes. We all misunderstand people. It's just a matter of life. So you want to feel your feelings and give yourself time to recover. This can be done really in a few minutes simply by stating your feelings out loud. Most of us were not conditioned to state our feelings out loud. And they go inside of our body and they create anxiety and they can create headaches and illnesses and all kinds of things for a very long time. So whenever you're saying that statement, you're going to feel it in your body. You might feel it in your throat. Your chest might tighten up. You could feel it in your stomach. You could get a headache, and know that it's normal. Now, the statement you say is, I feel the feeling because of blank. So I feel guilty because I yelled at my mother. And you keep repeating this until the feelings inside of your body dissipates. Now, note if you say, I feel like, this is an indicator of the meaning that you're putting on the mistake. So, in terms with my mother, if I said, I feel like a horrible daughter because I yelled at my mother, then that's not a feeling. This is the meaning that I put on the incident. I put the meaning that because I yelled at her, I was a horrible, horrible, rotten daughter, and I had to change my story. So, anytime you say, I feel like, know that this is a story you're telling yourself and ask yourself, how can I change the story? Step 6, can you fix it? Apologize if need be. Some mistakes just can't be fixed, and not all of them need to be fixed. So you want to fix what you can and let go of the rest. Yep, fix what you can and let go of the rest. Sincerely apologize to the people that was impacted by your mistake. Step number 7, be honest. Honesty is one of my biggest values, and I believe it's always the best policy. If you forget to do something, admit it. If you lose track of time, admit it. I've made tons of mistakes in emails and webinars. My ideal clients get it and they forgive me. And typically, it's not as big as a deal to them as it was to me. I was hosting a webinar one time, and I log on to Zoom and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm like, this is really weird. Nobody is showing up. Just like I had a couple hundred people register for it. I'm like, nobody's showing up. So I sat there for about 20 minutes and really felt pretty defeated. And so then I just got off and thought, okay, nobody's coming. I open up my email and there's all these emails. We're here. Where are you? We're here. Where are you? I logged into the wrong Zoom meeting. So therefore, I was honest. I sent an email to everybody and said, I am so sorry that I did not show up for the webinar. I was waiting for you in a different room. It's my mistake. I logged into the wrong Zoom account. So know that your clients are going to get it and they're not going to hate you. And it's not going to be the end of your business if you do something crazy like that. Step number 8, what are the lessons that you learned? There's always lessons to be learned by any mistake. Perhaps it's simply what we could have done better. Sometimes one little tweak can make the whole difference in the world. So now I always double check my Zoom rooms because of that incident. So, and it takes me less than 5 seconds to double check that I am in the right room. In this way, I'm not going to ghost everybody again, right? So what can I do better? What can we do to prevent it from happening again? Step number 9, shift your mindset to get back into a positive flow. Because when we make a mistake, we are kicking ourselves in the butt and we do feel like horrible, for whatever reason. And sometimes it's really hard. We don't like to make mistakes. We want to be perfect, even though we know that we can't be perfect. So, how can you shift your mindset? With a rampage of gratitude. Just state out loud everything that you're grateful for right in this moment. I'm grateful that I have a beautiful view of the mountains out of my office window. I'm very grateful for my office. I'm grateful for the chair that I'm sitting in. I'm grateful, very grateful for each of you that's listening. So you just sit there and you start saying everything you're grateful for 2 to 3 minutes, and it's going to lift your spirits and your mood. Especially if you make a mistake with a client or, like with a webinar and you have to move on to something else in your business, you need to shift your energy so your energy is more uplifting and loving and powerful. And you do this through a rampage of gratitude. If you have time, you can meditate. You can and sometimes it doesn't have to take a long time, maybe just a minute. Just focus on your breath going in and out and just be. You can also opt for a guided visualization or meditation. And at times, I just like to be still for 5 minutes with the Insight Timer. It's an app. I love the Insight Timer. And there's a 5-minute timer called Shanti meditation. And note the Shanti means peace. And so just listening to this for 5 minutes will shift my energy. You want to be present. Be present. So this is different than being grateful, and it's different than taking the time to smell the roses or meditating. So what you're going to do to be in the present moment is you're going to sit there and be completely in tune with your senses. What are you seeing right this moment? It takes no effort on your part to see whatever it is you're seeing right now. What are you hearing right this moment? The sound of my voice, rain, kids playing outside, cars, whatever you're hearing, takes absolutely no effort on your part to hear what you're hearing in this moment in time. What are you touching in this moment in time? What do the clothes on your body feel like? Rub your hands together and just notice the sensation. What are you touching? What does the chair you're sitting on feel like? And note that it takes absolutely no effort on your part to feel the sensation. What are you smelling right in this moment? You could smell fresh rain. You could smell dinner cooking, a fireplace. There's all kinds of smells that you could be smelling. Your hair, shampoo, soap, whatever it is whatever it is you're smelling takes absolutely no effort on your part. What are you tasting right this moment? Takes absolutely no effort on your part to taste. So whenever you take the time to tune into your 5 senses with exactly what's happening right now, a sense of inner peace comes over you. You feel more relaxed. You feel more in control. You feel more ready to go out there and do what you have to do. And you can always exercise. Just get up and walk, go to another room, do power poses. Power poses are great. So just stand up and do a power pose. Or put your hands on your hips. This is another power pose. Whenever you do this and you change what you're doing, it's going to change how you're feeling. You can also take a short walk, do some yoga, stretch. As I said earlier, move to another room. You could choose to chill out in front of the TV for a little while. You could also soak in a bathtub. I love soaking in the bathtub, one of my favorite things to do. You can read, or you can repeat a mantra. So just say, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Remember, no feeling lasts forever. Never, ever. Can you imagine how horrible it would be if you experienced every feeling you've ever had in your life? Both good and bad, it would just be too much for us. No feeling lasts forever. They're just like the clouds. They come and they go. They come and they go. Feelings just are. But feelings are not truth. They may be truth in the moment that you feel a certain way, but they're not truth in the big scheme of things. And remind yourself of your triumphs. You want to write a list of everything that you've ever succeeded at. Or begin today by creating a document with all the thank you notes and love notes from your clients and customers. All the kind words that people have told you to, whenever you start reading those, when you're feeling down or you've made a mistake, it's definitely going to lift your mood. So now you are ready to move on. So take 15 minutes and think of a mistake that you've recently made. Ask yourself, what did you learn from it? What could you have done differently? What will you do differently in the future? And what can you be grateful for? So tune in next week for another episode of Biz Success in 15. Step into who you are with outrageous confidence. And remember to go to visibilitychecklist.com and download your visibility checklist. Big hugs. See you next week. Bye-bye.